Hello everyone, it's Simon from Higher Plane Games. Hope you're well and having a great day. Today you're taking a look at Megapolis, which is a city builder meets build a lot and had a baby, is the best way that I can describe it. It's a city builder game, but it all takes place on one screen. And instead of looking at building city like as one massive landscape, like it's kind of showing actually on the menu, doesn't really happen like that. What you do is do very time-bound focus missions to build sections of a city as you're going around and building bits and bobs. And you've got a campaign mode which kind of takes you down the track, introducing you new buildings and blueprints for you to discover along the way, which you can then build your own scenarios with in sandbox mode. Sandbox isn't like building a city completely exactly how you want. It's more around setting your own missions, essentially, which is quite an interesting twist on a sandbox mode. Without further ado, I'm just going to dive into campaign. I'm just going to go to select scenario. So you get 24 scenarios as you're going along. The first 2 or 3 are very, very tutorial based. Then after that it kind of drops away and gives you like a free-for-all on everything. So it can be it goes from extreme hand-holding to extreme intimidating. But strangely it feels okay. And it's like it's done its job without you really knowing, so don't panic. Let's go into this new scenario that I've just started. I'll pause the game after this amazing man always introduces you to the thing itself. So, taking you around the screen so that you understand what's going on. The top bar will have a time on it where it talks about how long you've spent in the scenario, and then you've always got this deadline date. Now you need to finish the scenario in 12 minutes and 45 seconds for this specific level. You get a gold star if you've done it under 8.5 minutes, which is like your speed run equivalent, and then an additional trophy if you manage to get an overall 10 points on Ecology, and I'll explain points in a second. However, what you're really going for is to get within the deadline to achieve these 3 goals that are over here, and they'll tick as you do them. So they want no old apartment blocks, because that's what's here all at the moment. A total of 20 happiness and 500 grand in your bank balance. So that's what's going on in the top bar. On the top left hand side you've also got these little stats. So your monthly income is what's showing there, and that's how much rent you collect essentially. And your rent is stipulated by what apartment blocks that you've kind of got in the building. The bigger the apartment block, the more rent it will bring in, but the more that those residents will demand that they have. But their income is very much determined by how happy they are. So if you put them next to a ginormous factory and don't give them a shopping centre, then the big blocks get miserable, essentially. It's a sad pandas. The residents underneath will tell you how many there are and how many will be contributing rent. Ecology is what your forest and parks are doing. Commerce is for shops. Healthcare is for hospitals and not too much pollution. And culture is for things like adding a theatre, that kind of stuff. Then you've got your main map here, and you can see it's all divided into lots, which if you click onto, you can see these old apartment blocks. They all want and have different needs, depending on what type of apartment block you go for. So we've got an office block in here somewhere. Where is it? Is that? That's a medium. There's the office centre there. So people's needs are ticked, but there's no shopping centre and there's no school, so they'll need that in order to increase their happiness, and that's why it's at -2. So if I added those and then maybe put them next to a nice happy park to give them somewhere to walk and enjoy, then they'll be happy and therefore will pay me more rent. Happiness equals rent, essentially, in this game. And you've got all of these different lots here. Some of them are colour coded depending on what you can and can't build, and you've got some forest that's around that you can potentially mow down and add more plots to, but it will damage your ecology if you do so, unless you're adding a park. So we've got 200 grand. What I'm going to start doing for my first trick is getting rid, I think, of some apartment blocks. I'm going to add some more power, because if you don't add power in, you will be sad. And I'm just going to check on here. Blueprints are things that you can kind of unlock as you go along, so I've not dealt with healthcare or entertainment yet. And once you unlock them, you can use them in any scenario that you've got. Licenses are very much for that specific thing, and they'll unlock upgrades for that scenario that you're currently in. Okay. So we only have 11. Everyone gets unhappy when you leave debris there. Okay. So what I'm going to do first off is pop a park in. And the reason why I'm popping parks in before I actually do anything too dramatic is I'm going to build 4 workers as well. They give +1 to anything that they're touching, so they're really handy to put in places where they're going to be surrounded by other buildings. And the reason for that is that then gives all of those surrounding buildings more money in terms of rent coming into you. So I'm going to do another park there. And then I think what I'll do... yes, I should build a school. Because that will increase almost everyone's happiness in one foul block. And you'll see happiness increase. Like next time round on the income, people's happiness now increased will mean more rent. See, it's gone from 9 to 10 grand. So it's important to do those kind of things. Right, now what am I going to do? I need to get some materials in for a start. And then what I will do is continue to knock down said apartment blocks, add more workers to get it done quicker, because we are against the clock. Shovel that shit away. And in its place, what I'm going to do is construct a large apartment block for this one specifically, because yes, they will require more of me, but there's going to be more people and they're going to pay more rent. Together. So this is quite a specific scenario. I've not had one where I've had to clear everything out and like restart from scratch. It always recommends that you do so because you can earn so much more by putting in newer apartment blocks. Let's go for another one in there. As always, I'm running against the clock. And because I've now got quite a lot in, I'm going over on power, so I need to make sure that I keep that under wraps. And then what I'm going to do here, right, I'm going to go for a shop plot there, but I'm going to put a shopping centre, I think, there, and this one. Because you need to kind of work out where are you going to keep the places that don't necessarily bring you extra happiness, or that can damage your surroundings. So when you build factories, it gives a -1 to everything in its vicinity, but sometimes you need a factory to be able to produce that type of like material that they're producing or something like that. So, or it's just a goal that you need to fulfill. materials in. And then what I'm going to do is click onto things and I'm going to start upgrading them. Now some apartments just have an upgrade that you can add on, just like this one here, which is just some extra rooms. So nice and simple and straightforward. Nothing too exciting, but you can see the effects of them. So when you're adding something, you can see like this will give 30% income, that one will reduce power consumption by 14, minus by 9, but 10% income, that kind of stuff. So you need to keep on top and on tabs, essentially. Again, I'm going to go for large apartment blocks. Definitely not going to get that gold star. What I am going to do though is get the standard upgrade license. There'll be a specific reason for this in a second. And I think I'll stop after that building plot and start knocking everything else down. And the reason for that is that I can get these attractions into the parks. Materials. And you can see that now just adds more happiness to places elsewhere. And that's why parks are really strategically great to have, like, hugging everything else. Right, so I am going to get... Right, so I need to get rid of that. I need to get rid of that. That damages the reputation when you've got all of that kicking there. Right, so I want that gone as well. Okay, so I'm going to... Because I've got the money now. I'm going to start doing a variety of other things in here. Okay, so that's another one that needs to go. That needs to go. That one needs to go. So I've just about missed the deadline. Which gives you like a speedrun replayability, doesn't it? Last one to get gone. What I'm going to do is just purchase that as well. Idea would be with some medium stuff. So I think go with that. And then what I'll do is I'll stick a park there and do something either side, and I think we'll be all right. He says. Get some workers on. I know we're low on power. Ooh, see now that's nearly done it. Right, let's get one more in. I think we're good. I hope that this has kind of shown you exactly how a scenario works in this game. There we go. So, brilliant. Yes, I have improved the area, Mr. Fringe. Thank you for your assistance. And so, you get that, you go on to the next one. If I'd have got the trophy, you can see the little symbols that I get above, then I'd have got that. If I'd have got the gold star, then you can see I'd have got the gold star there. But it's quite difficult to do both of those at the same time, so you will have multiple playthroughs of trying to get stuff. You can see in some of the thumbnails of this, like the next one, number 12, is going to be about hospitals, then you've got nuclear reactors, and that's just buying those blueprints, getting more and more going. And what you then do is take all of that into sandbox mode, where you pick maps and then start adding goals and setting deadlines and that kind of stuff. If you're worried about the deadline side, what you can do is remove deadlines from the game entirely, if you'd rather go at a bit of a more leisurely pace. But to be fair, the majority of the fun is going up against the deadlines, because you're always going to gain money whether people are happy or not. People aren't necessarily moving in and out, and you can't get there's no like big lose situation. It's just you've done things wrong and not quick enough is your lose situation. So it's important to understand that if you want to go into Megapolis. But I really like this game. I like the hybrid of this kind of SimCity / build a lot style. Really quick for a mission, and then you can like dive out and go somewhere else. Missions are obviously longer as you're getting further down the chain, which is quite nice because they're asking for more things and longer living things, I guess. But that's it. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Simon. This is Higher Plane Games. Please do like, comment and subscribe if you've got this and you want to let me know how you're getting on with it. And as always, if you do feel it within your heart to donate, then there is a Patreon. But don't worry, the content is always free. That's just if you want to help me find new things to play. So, you guys will take care. See you soon. Bye for now.